the Torah of dignity. In Shakespeare's time, the eye roll was an expression of love and desire. Today, it is often used by teenagers, mainly girls for unknown reasons, to express annoyance at adults, especially when they think they are wrong. I am firmly part of the eye roll club as a father of 13-year-old twin daughters. And misery loves company, as I have noticed that many daughters of that age like to roll their eyes at their parents. If I take an objective step backward, I acknowledge that our teens are supposed to question their parents as they discover their own selves. And yes, after years of better obedience to their parents, it feels like they are rebelling against us. So what does the Torah teach, if anything, about rebellious teenagers who are in reality just trying to discover themselves? On first glance, the Torah doesn't really approve self-discovery, perhaps even telling us parents to suppress teenage rebellion. The first commandment in chapter 19, Parshat Kedoshim, says, Ish imo va'aviv tira'u ve'ed shabtotai tishmaru ani Adonai Elohechem. Each person shall fear or revere, you can choose your translation, his mother and his father. Keep my Shabbats. In Deuteronomy 21, the Torah goes so far as to threaten the stoning for the rebellious child. If a person has a wayward and defiant child, ish ben sorer umoreh, who does not heed father and mother, they shall discipline them and take him to the city gate and stone him to death. That's quite harsh. Are our children really supposed to live in fear of their parents? If we take a look, there are also verses in the Torah favoring children forging their own path. Chapter 2 of Genesis, in the creation story, when Eve is created, it talks about how a person leaves their father and mother and clings to their life partner. And then we read about Abraham, where God says, go forth from your native land, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. The symbolic journey that many of us talk about, that we emulate in our lives, the journey of Abraham and Sarah leaving their father's house, hopefully finding life partners and friends to guide us along the way. That is self-discovery. Yes, us parents are wired to want their children to forge a certain path, and children are wired to distance from parents to discover their own identities. Parents and children have struggled from time immemorial with these wiring in our brains. So what are we supposed to do? Chapter 19 is often called the Holiness Code for obvious reason, because it says, Kedoshim ti'iyu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall be holy, because I, the Lord, am holy. But Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of this righteous person who passed away recently bring us blessing, describes chapter 19 as not just the Holiness Code, but as the code of dignity. We are holy when we treat all people with dignity. We are holy when we love people as ourselves, when we rise up to rescue people in need, when we make sure not to curse the deaf or put a physical or metaphorical stumbling block before people who are blind to see what is in front of them. We must be honest in our dealings with others, personal and commercial. And yes, even as we differentiate from our parents, we must continue to respect them as the people who gave us life. And us parents need to make room for their children to be different, and yes, to make their own mistakes. The key is to treat everyone with dignity. Dignified and respectful and frequent communication between parents and children, and really in any relationship, is the key to success. Watch teenagers in public. If they encounter a person that they do not know or not as secure with, they are polite. They know how to act. Teens rebel against the people they feel safest with. But communication gives everyone the opportunity to work things out. Today, I'd like to mention and express that the Torah of dignity, the dignity code, is applicable to all of us, regardless of our age. As a country, we are processing the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict in the murder of George Floyd. Emotions are high and opinions to the solutions differ. Yet, if we listen carefully, and I've been trying to do that this week, to police officers, to American citizens, black and white, of every race and ethnicity, a common goal emerges. Most of America wants to remove the stain of systemic racism and hatred and to forge healthy relationships between community and police, between the diverse people of this country. It obviously sounds simple, but we all know it's not so simple. But one of the answers is to observe the Torah of dignity. If we all, police, elected officials, American citizens, observe the dignity code, things will be better. Can we open the lines of communication? Can we train each other how to de-escalate our violent encounters? If we follow each other with dignity, we can. We all know that politics is local. If we want to solve society's ills, start small, start locally. We here in Great Neck are doing that tomorrow afternoon at the Rally for Unity and Love at 12:30 in John A. Alpe Park. I know it's going to rain a little bit, but I encourage you all, put on your rain boots and join us as we affirm our common love and our dignity. The rally will hopefully be the beginning of a process of healing where we can treat each other with dignity and fulfill Dr. King's dream of removing prejudice and racism from the world. 2 weeks ago, I quoted Theodore Herzl, "If you will it, it is no dream." Today, I adapt Herzl's wish or dream. If we will it, we can fulfill Dr. King's dream. I look forward to seeing many of you tomorrow at the rally and in future endeavors to make our community and really our world a better place. And let us all say, Amen.